Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from Sweden, and welcome to this month's live stream on the topic Recruiters' Future in the Age of AI. We're talking about agents, managers, and orchestrators. Before I properly introduce today's guest, we'd love to see your energy in the comment section. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any burning questions for us, just show us and give us your energy. And everyone who comments summary in the comment section will get their hands on all the key takeaways, the entire recording, and Vanessa's exclusive AI tool sheet. And just a super short recap to anyone that's new to my live stream. My name's Sarah. I'm a part of Adway, and we're a social recruiting technology targeting untapped talent on social media to boost your quality of hire at the speed of social. And in this masterclass, Vanessa will share practical steps on how to thrive as an orchestrator in the age of AI, where AI is taking over the operator side of recruiting and the traditional full stack recruiter simply can't keep up. So, Vanessa, please give us a proper introduction of who you are and how you make difference in the TA community, and obviously spill the TA from the sourcing summit, if you may.
Hey, Sarah. First of all, thanks so much for having me for a guest. This has been a long time coming.
A really
We've
long time
chatted for
coming.
years now. I don't know why we haven't got the, should I say, our SH1T together sooner, but it's great to be here. So, yes, my name's Vanessa Raath, and I'm on the opposite side of the world to you. I'm in South Africa, just returned from spending a week in Amsterdam where I delivered a keynote at Sourcing Summit, which is what you were referring to, and lots of great learnings in the AI space there. I'm an AI literacy coach, I'm a talent sourcing trainer, and I also do a lot of keynote speaking. But I'm pleased to say I'm done with the keynote speaking for the year. Next trip is end of January. I'm heading off to the States.
Oh, is that Talent Week? Are you going?
Yeah, Talent Acquisition
Yeah.
Week. Yep.
Oh,
First week
love
of
that.
February.
Oh,
Yeah.
love that. Love that. Can't wait. Looking
Yeah.
forward. Yeah. So since,
Excellent.
as you said, Vanessa, you've been a part of this evolution, if you may, for years, and you've trained thousands and thousands of sourcers and recruiters on this very shift that we're about to deep dive into.
Yeah.
If we
Yep.
were to start, I mean, to me, and I think you're with me here, it's not longer human versus the machines. Now it's recruiters with AIs versus
Yep.
recruiters without. And that's where we're going to dig into the opportunities and especially
Sure.
two emerging roles. So if you were to look at the recruitment landscape just from a lens right now, how much of the traditional recruiter role has AI already taken over?
Really, really good question. And I like the way that you frame that. It's us working alongside the technology. We all know that AI is here. It's not a new thing. It's coming up for 3 years next month that we've had access to ChatGPT. We need to get with the
Exactly.
program now. And for me, it all depends on the nature of where people are recruiting. I think when you look at the bulk recruiting space, you find AI taking a lot of that, admin that goes with that. There's a lot of automations happening. But I do believe that for white collar, more senior roles, strategic, executive search, there is less AI that is happening there. But there's AI happening everywhere at some point. And
Yeah.
we need to figure out what works best for us.
Yeah, and as you said, the white glove experience is going to get even more premium now that we have these tools helping us to do the volume and
Absolutely.
scale of the craft. And as the point, you've trained thousands of recruiters. What's the biggest mindset shift you think they need to make in 2025 to stay relevant?
Really interesting because that's actually what my keynote was all about last week. Was about how do we stay relevant as recruiters, and for me, the answer is be more human. Because that is something that AI cannot do. It cannot do the human parts of what we do as recruiters.
Mm.
So, where I'm seeing a lot of recruiters and talent sources are saving a lot of time because they're using AI, they're using automations. My question is that's wonderful, but what are you doing with the time that you are saving? Because if you're not using that time to get in front of more clients and more candidates, then it really is, it's going to be a waste. Then you're just going to fill it with useless admin.
I
So
love that.
use the AI in order to do the repetitive tasks,
Mm.
because another thing I'm saying a lot at the moment is that no one went into recruitment because they love admin. So use use the AI and the automations to take away those horrible tasks we don't like and
Yep.
spend more time with human beings.
Yeah.
That's the key trick. So
Yeah.
So that answers what we should be doing. And the mindset is pretty much embrace AI because it isn't going anywhere.
No, 2 point. Let's talk about the full stack recruiter. Why do you think the role is struggling to survive in the age of automation?
So I think that the role has just become too much. 360 recruiters, there really is so much to do end to end. There's so many different factors. And yes, we've got the AI and the automations to streamline things. But a key thing that we need to remember is that AI isn't perfect. You still need the human to oversee what AI is producing, what it is doing. We've all seen some horrendous case studies, and they're going to be more on the way about AI not doing the right thing. So I think that the full stack recruiter is a role that needs to be really looked at with a couple of different lenses. The volume of roles which the full stack recruiter is required to look at. Where does the process end? Where does the process begin? And we need to really set up the recruiter for success. Because at the moment, there's a lot of recruiters out there who are leaving the industry, suffering from burnout, and it isn't great. We need to make sure that we keep closer tabs on this.
I think, like, as we do believe this session is empowering, I do think that this is also going to be a helpful shift, because as you said, the loop of the 360 recruiter, I've seen so many burnout cases. Like it's a call for help in that sense as well. So it's not even challenging a role. It's just like, let's level up and have a more enjoyable experience. So as the point, with AI now handling volume as operators, like sourcing, screening, scheduling, what's then left for the human time to do? I mean, how do you see the balance evolving from the white glove recruiting and now becoming sort of a luxury or a necessity? As you said, spend time with the clients, get in front of in the right relationships. But what does that mean in practice?
So basically, if I had a recruiter asking me that question, I would say work on your personal brand. And this always makes me chuckle because I've run my own business for 7 years now, and a big part of my business is coaching recruiters to stand out. Like Sarah, you and I have never met in person. We have great interactions online. I feel like I could hang out with you and have a great cup of coffee and a conversation because we know each other. And that's what people need to do more, is put themselves out there, be online, because the AI is getting really good at reach out messages. There were lots of presentations at Sourcing Summit about how if you put in the right information, you give it the right prompt, those messages are getting good. So the next step is, when you get those messages as a candidate who's on the market, and you go and have a look at the online brand or the person reaching out to you, do you respond to the person who's got over 550 LinkedIn recommendations, or do you respond to someone who's got none and a very wishy-washy LinkedIn profile? And this is what recruiters need to make sure that they're spending more time on, is becoming known, specializing in a niche, having a personal brand, giving back to community, because community is a big part of the future of recruitment.
No, I agree, definitely. So we've introduced these two roles. We call them agent managers and orchestrators, like the names are about to. You can have so many names for these examples.
Absolutely.
But to make sense of the recruiter's evolution here, how would you describe them in your own words? I mean, let's start with the agent manager. Who are they? What do they do? And what skills define them?
So the thinking around an agent manager is that each individual recruiter, whether they're sitting internally in a TA team or in an agency, are going to have agents that are performing some of those tasks that we spoke about. Potentially doing the talent sourcing, the scheduling of interviews, automating certain parts of the reach out, onboarding. So they are just managing the process of a whole lot of agents. So that's the first agent manager kind of synopsis.
Yeah. And in my world, it's literally building digital workflows and digital setups to make you even more actionable when it comes to all these different things. So you, instead of just burning yourself out, you've leveled up yourself with all the different workflows or techniques or tools or skills that's needed to perform, as you said, these agent tasks. So an agent manager to me is like a recruiter who manages the machines in a way, making sure AI delivers scale without losing the quality. That's where I think the difference comes in.
So they're capable of doing a lot more, which is really interesting. They may not have built the agents themselves, but they are managing agents, which is an interesting way of looking at it, because a lot of recruiters out there at the moment think, a lot of people aren't naturally technical, but they think they need to build their own agents. But there are some that are come in a, pre-packaged in a nice
Exactly.
kind of product, and there's others that you could build using tools like Innate N and those kind of things.
Exactly. I love that. We're both Lovable fans. So
Straight out.
when it comes to the orchestrators, how are they
Yes.
different? How are they architects of the recruitment process to you?
So that's really interesting. And like a conductor who manages an orchestra, it's basically the orchestrators managing these agent managers and making sure that the recruitment process end to end is actually working. It's a pleasant candidate experience. It's
Yep.
working for the business. So they will oversee those
Yep.
recruiters who are now the agent managers managing more agents.
It's so exciting because where nuance, influence, and trust comes in, this is where the orchestrators really rule. And back to the both of these roles is to make sure quality is the North Star in all this. Quality in the experience of the candidate, quality in the experience of the hiring manager, quality in the output of the candidate. The whole,
Yes,
as you said, using that time that now is over to just optimize and make sure you're delivering on the promise of what TA and recruitment really is. So
100%.
these are both, we need to stay close to these emerging roles and follow the development. And as you said, the sourcing community is super cool. In my experience, feel like you guys are always ahead. Like
Do you want to know why? Because
because you
sources
do
have
Boolean strings, like you had to invent,
our superpower, Boolean.
yes, take that to an HR
No,
manager. Oh,
no. You know what? Talent sources have something which I always refer to as something called passionate curiosity. So it's not actually ever sitting back and accepting something is green just because someone says it's green. It's go and
very
figure
true.
out why it's green. They are
Very true.
fantastic at searching, finding answers to things, and they will push themselves, even though they're not comfortable with it, to be more technical and to
Yeah.
go and push the limits and
Yeah.
boundaries of what they can do with LLMs, for example. So, yeah,
Love.
I think talent sources are the ones that are leading the way with the adoption of AI in recruiting teams at the moment.
Definitely. You should definitely
Yeah.
follow the development here, 100%.
Yes.
So if we picture an AI-driven TA team per se, what's the
Yeah.
perfect balance then to you when it comes to the agents and the orchestrators here?
So for me, it's whenever there's a human interaction. So, like, without a doubt, the first human interaction,
Mm,
interactions throughout the process, that needs to be human to human.
mm,
There's a lot of companies out there at the moment who are actually giving the candidate the option is, would you rather be taken through the rest of this process with our agent, who's a member of the TA team, or
right.
would you like to deal with the human being? Because it does come down to the candidate and what they feel. But that first
Yeah.
interaction, as well as managing the process from a high level. I mean, one of the slides of my presentation was that, AI can analyze a conversation. I mean, I don't think you go into a meeting these days when there's not a Fireflies or an Otter or a Carve or something like, can we even have a meeting without them these days? But only you as a human being can read the silence and
Mm.
see when someone needs a little bit longer to
Read
think or
between the firefly lines. Oh,
exactly, exactly. So there are certain times that a human input with the gut feel is
mm,
it has to be there.
yeah,
And I think that that's something that we need to be aware of because again, another thing that I've said was AI can do a lot, but because it can do a lot, should it be doing a lot?
exactly. 100%. But I think we take a lot of inspiration again from support functions, e-commerce tools, etc., where you as a customer can choose how you prefer to have the
Yes,
experience.
yes,
And that's just exactly coming down into recruitment as well, because you and me, Van, we're consumers online, and we're also candidates in some processes. So you just have to understand that this is the same persona. We're native digital. So no, definitely, as understand the preferred experience for your candidate. I think that's also wisdom you have to take into how you build and operate the experience. Let's do a quick poll in the comment section. Do you feel like you're
sure.
more of an agent manager or are you more of an orchestrator? Comment and let us know. Are we orchestrators or are we agent managers? What's your preferred role here? Okay, Van, where do you believe then humans still have the most clear advantage? I know we touched upon it, but like, what are those unique, and I mean unique skills that we need to double down on? And one point, as you said, just because we have tech doesn't mean we should just change everything into it. So what if I'm a recruiter today and I do work and I demo and I innovate with all my tools and I understand I have to level up my entire being, but what are the actual human skills that I should be doubling down on?
Really great question. And again, I'm going to touch on two things. The first one is authenticity. So authenticity came out very strongly at this conference, is that the recruiter is the authentic individual. It's someone that a human can trust. And I think we can't lose sight that in this industry of recruitment, we're dealing with human beings. So we've got a client on one side or a hiring manager, and we've got a candidate on the other side. If we were just selling a washing machine or something like that, a different kind of story. But we are dealing with humans, and humans have emotions, and those need to be considered. So the first thing is the being authentic is really important. And the second is one that I touched on earlier, but I do believe that community and knowing people is actually going to be your ticket to being successful, especially in the agency space. Because I see the reason that a lot of my bigger enterprise clients that I deal with, the reason why they'll say to their TA teams, you can go out and you can go and search for this talent, is because they know that an agency that is niche and specialized, so say, for example, someone who knows all the supply chain managers in the UK, for example, they will go and use them because of their network. So the reason why agencies are staying relevant is that they know the industry, they know the key players, they know who's ready to move on, they know who's on a contract that's about to finish, and that is the reason. Because an enterprise company cannot keep in touch with everyone for each and every single department. So if you can get those two kind of human qualities right, of being authentic and being a thought leader and running a community, I think that you are going to be safe.
Very nice. Interesting. The shift is really happening in front of our eyes. So
it is.
To that, how can recruiters then build more influence inside their organizations when AI is taking over the repetitive work? And I mean, do you think this shift will make recruiter more strategic, or will it push some roles out completely from the equation?
I do believe it's going to push a lot of roles out of the equation. We're already seeing that happening. A lot of graduates actually go into TA teams. That isn't happening so much anymore because a lot of that legwork can be done by AI. So it's a little bit of a worry with that. But one thing that I will emphasize, and I've emphasized for a long time before AI came out, is where a lot of recruiters don't get a seat at the table, where they don't stand out in an organization, is when they go to a board and they present a whole lot of information and there's no solid data. So instead of being the recruiter that says our salaries are not competitive, go back with salaries that you're competing with. What are the candidates telling you? Data is just incredible, and recruiters need to become more like data scientists, data gatherers, and that's going to give them the credibility and the kudos that they need in order to stand out.
Definitely. The thing I see among our clients, because one thing with Adway is that we deliver these complex reports from the ATSs to really, as you said, like figure out the improved quality of all the candidates, etc. But the thing that our clients does, like the heads of TAs, when they put context to the report and the data to their board, they all of a sudden make a lot of sense. That's the human nuance that really, really works these days. I've seen it happening a lot in boardrooms. When you know how to put your context behind those metrics for your board that don't have time to dig through the entire report, perhaps, then that's the nuance where you make such a scale. As you said, trust again. Trust back to your craft. Yeah, no, very much so.
And your reports are great. I mean, I love the Adway reports, but a report is only as good as the accompanying story. So the human being has to step up and tell the story of the data, because data doesn't tell its own story successfully.
Definitely. Okay, so cautious of the time, we are enjoying life. So let's dig into some practical then steps and tools. I mean, if there were some practical first steps recruiters can take to start operating as orchestrators today, Van, what would those be?
Okay, good question. So I hope that we are past the stage of where, when I'm training teams and I ask the question is, what are you doing with AI? And I get crickets. I hear nothing. So I hope that people are now digging into, maybe at least have a favorite LLM. Are you gravitating more towards ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, whatever it is? And are you actually getting the best results out of that, or are you still spending an hour editing everything which is generated by the LLM? So, I think it's baby steps. It's making sure that you dedicate some time, either daily or on a weekly basis, of this is generative AI, because let's face it, in the recruiting world, if you're building agents and things, you're super advanced.
Yeah,
Most people are just using Gen AI
yeah,
and creating content.
yeah.
So your content really comes down to the quality of your prompt.
Mm,
And if you are understanding and reading a lot about prompt engineering, you're going to be
yeah.
getting a better set of results. So for me, it's get stuck in, start playing. You're not going to break the internet, but you need to start learning yourself, because sitting
Mhm.
back and waiting for your employer to say, we're going to pay for X, Y, and Z or whatever, could actually leave you too late.
I agree. And what I see a lot of smart TA pros do this day is they, just as with you, Van, like you demo, you spend weekly time for innovation, however little or much that could be, but you do prioritize it.
Yeah,
You follow some, I mean, again, in the space, there could be some overwhelming inputs, like new tools popping up left and right.
yeah,
But as long as you
true.
stay true to the KPI still matter, we're still gonna care about quality of hire. We're still gonna care
Yeah,
about, time to hire. We're still gonna care
yeah,
about, all these bits. So if you know what you're asking for, it's
yeah,
easier to know, like to see through the need to have versus the nice to haves. But you cannot
yes,
say what I see, indecisive. Indecisiveness
exactly.
will take your job way faster than AI, any
Yeah.
AI will do. Being
And you
passive,
can't, yeah, you can't be the ostrich. You
no,
can't be sitting there with your head in the sand saying, I'm not interested in this AI because I don't believe it's going to take my job or do a better job than me.
it's the
It's not
recruiters we
about
guys
that.
taking it. Yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. So I guess the practical steps would be like understanding tools and systems and
Yes.
agents that'll improve your 360 vision, either as an agent manager, but as the orchestrator, understand then when you have those resources at hand in your team, what do you do then with this white glove experience?
Exactly.
Do you like, are you behind selling yourself and your function to your board? How do you improve that? Are you behind
Yeah.
on your canned experience? Have D&I been an initiative that didn't work for the last 2 years? Then back to it. So
Yes.
understanding, as you said, how we level up as a function entirely, and always prove your business case, because there's never been a time
Exactly.
where TA recruitment have
Yeah.
been more questioned.
And
If you,
and we need AI champions in,
yeah,
in teams. We
yeah,
need people that are going to
we
set
talked
up and
about
say,
that. Yeah, there'll
yeah, like
probably be a
you, like,
role where you're like sort of head of AI innovation within TA almost. It might even be
exactly,
that role
exactly.
is between sales and recruitment. I don't even know, because it's going to be
Yeah.
so similar, but there's definitely going to be someone,
Yeah.
managing that
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah.
And I think that it's ripe at the moment for someone to put their hand up and say,
Oh,
I'll do it. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
I know that we get into it when I put together the list of AI tried and tested tools.
Oh
It
yeah.
literally was because there wasn't a list out there. I had all of my clients coming to me and saying, Van, you've done great training for us around how to use LLMs and Chat GPT.
Mm,
Now, what about the tools? And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not sure. So what did I do? I went and met with a whole lot of vendors who have AI tools, and I put together a list, and it's working, very successfully. So
Yeah.
if you don't know, go and figure it out,
Yeah, and I
because
think if you put that in practice, doing that, you're ahead of most
yeah,
recruiters right now. Just doing that as a
100%
habit,
you are.
you'll be in the absolute front. Yeah, no
Yeah,
worries.
yeah. It's about being a
Um,
pioneer.
100%, 100%. So, just since I know, I mean, you're big on sourcing tech, are there any AI tools or workflows that help recruiters rule the machines instead of then competing them? Like, what tools or tech have you seen helping instead of perhaps, as you said, like failing fast at this point?
So it's really interesting because I often get asked, Vanessa, what is your favorite AI tool? And I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
Because you can't just have a
Nah,
tool that does
there won't be
everything
a
end to
silver bullet.
end.
No.
It doesn't exist now, at the moment. But I mean, if like you and I, we've had meetings leading up to this podcast. I use Carve to record my meetings. It's out of the Netherlands. It's a great tool. It's built for recruiters. That's my go-to. If I'm looking for a tool that's going to help me to write proposals better, because I spend a lot of my time putting together training proposals, I'm going to build my own GPT in ChatGPT. That's my great tool. If I want to create a graphic, I'm going to go and use Nano Banana because that's my favorite from Google that I'm playing with at the moment. So it all depends on what is your user case. And these are the most common meetings I'm having in the space at the moment. It's get onto the call. Vanessa, I know I need AI. What can you tell me? And it's always about, okay, I've got a 12 set of questions that we go through, which is, what are your current processes? What do you want to do? What do you want the AI to achieve? What does success look like? And all of those, and then we're going to find the tool. So
yeah, definitely.
My list is going to be sent out with a summary. It really is something that I want you to refer to. Makes your life very easy. But yeah, to name a few, I mean, People GPT is a great tool. MetaView has just come out with a sourcing site. They don't just record interviews anymore. There's heaps. There really is. Go to the list and explore.
Yeah, everyone who comments somewhere will access the list. And I think you all just leveling that up, Vanessa. And also, obviously, connect with us, Vanessa, on LinkedIn to stay ahead of the industry. No, 100%.
Might not be able to connect. I'm hitting my limits, but give me a follow.
Me too. We're getting close to 30K. But then you have to follow us, guys. Follow.
Yeah.
Okay, Van, if you had to design then the perfect TA tech stack for the next 2 years, obviously, I know it depends, but if we can just play with it, what would you do? And this is just top of your head.
I would automate anything that I would deem as repetitive, anything that I would say is causing friction from a time to hire perspective, getting the right candidate in front of the hiring manager.
Love that.
And I would let recruiters do what they are good at, and that is spending time with people. Yeah. So wherever you can automate an admin process, I'm a big fan of voice usage. So I speak to my GPTs all day. That is an incredible time saver. I think if we can do more of that, and make people realize that it's actually very easy to use and have conversations with, like that's going to make you more efficient too, because no one wants to sit down and type out a long email. But if I get to dictate it, then I'm a lot quicker.
Yeah, like how advanced, like if you're dreaming now, how advanced would you build your tech stack? So your point, like you don't even have, like, some automation is even better than AI at this point. But like, if you were to just like dream scenario.
Well, if I could do something where, and I have built an avatar, I use HeyGen, I've built training in my online academy, but I still like the interaction with people. I like doing things like this. I like traveling to conferences and delivering keynotes and meeting people. So for me, it's just the admin. I'm not an admin person. I'm very ADHD. So the more admin that I can go and automate or use AI and spend more time taking photos, I would do that. And I think what weighs a lot of people down is our inboxes. There has to be a better way.
100%. I think we're a close future where everyone will have someone representing them. So the candidate will have their agents representing them.
Yeah.
Likewise to the recruiter, and then the negotiation piece starts. So it'll be really exciting to follow. I mean, this space is just cooking. But super quickly, if we fast forward 3 years, then what does a top performing recruiter look like? What are they doing differently?
They're definitely AI enabled. So they are standing out, they have an opinion, they are a thought leader, they are speaking at events in their chosen niche of where they are recruiting, they're a trusted advisor to people, and they are not bogged down by admin and spending a lot of time doing admin. They are out there in the face of individuals. So they pretty much are going back to what a recruiter was to begin with, was they're a connector, they're an influencer, and they're a networker.
Almost like an advanced broker, broking houses, the house market. Like you have to be out there.
Real estate agents and recruiters are very similar.
Very similar, yeah. Exciting. Okay, and finally, if there was one message you could give every recruiter feeling overwhelmed right now, what would that be?
Okay, I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to share a secret. I came back from Sourcing Summit and I sat down at my desk on Monday and I was like, where do I start? Because I was completely overwhelmed with the amount of information that was presented on stage by my peers about AI and tools. And what I did was I wrote a handwritten note that is still sitting down here beside me. You can see it, a lot ticked off. And it's literally was, how do I go and approach this? And it's literally, we have a proverb in Africa saying, how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
And it's still in bite-sized pieces. So
Yeah.
if you've got the overwhelm, I totally get it. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. Do what you can manage with whatever else is happening in your life,
Yes.
and just start getting stuck in, because the longer you leave it, the further you're going to be left behind.
Absolutely. I see a lot of, like, there's a middle land now. There's some innovators running, testing, demoing and let me just be clear. You can be soberly curious, if that makes
Yes.
sense. You don't have to dive
Yeah.
head in. You can be cautious, skeptical, and innovate at the same time, but you can't be
Yeah.
passive, because the majority I see right now, they're waiting because they don't know. They
Yeah.
see some people failing fast. We see a lot of those interesting stories
Yeah.
happening on LinkedIn, where they share, like, yeah, we had this interview agent, didn't work, here's why. Still doesn't mean innovation should stop.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
And I
to get
think
out of
people
the
are,
land of the passive and move. You're a
yeah,
decision maker. Decide.
100%. And I think people look for more reasons why AI is going to fail, because
Yeah,
they're very nervous about
yeah,
losing their jobs,
yeah.
as opposed to, I mean, personally, AI is saving me 2 hours at least a
Yes,
day
and
on
imagine a
admin.
recruiter
Love it.
brain with those tools versus just a regular person. Like,
Yeah.
it's exponential, the scalability
Yeah.
you have with your own, obviously, knowledge. So
Yeah.
my biggest advice that I see work the fastest right now is to work with vendors to have them build business cases for you. So whenever
Yeah.
new tool approaches me, I'm like, yeah, give me the business case.
Yes,
I'm
100%.
super
And that's
open.
always my
Build it.
first question
Yes.
when I meet with vendors, is
Yeah.
always, okay, you've made a tool that's going to get rid of recruiters and it's going to be the savior of all TA teams. Why did you build it, and what were you trying to solve? And if they
Yeah.
can't answer that, I know in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've just lost half an hour of my life. I'm not going to get back.
I'll bill you for the hour.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Ah, it's so nice. Okay, so if there's one main takeaway you would give anyone watching this, wanting to get out of the freeze, moving in the right direction with caution, what would that be? How do they go about their day starting tomorrow? Like, how do we
Okay,
keep
so
going?
starting from tomorrow is, you need to make sure that you are being more human, standing out as being more human, be authentic, and really, I want you to nurture that that passionate curiosity side that I know all recruiters and TA folk have, to
Yeah.
go and start learning more about AI. I mean, the University of YouTube, I spend so many hours watching
Yes,
videos on
so many
YouTube,
academies.
educating myself. Like, just go for it. Just do
Yeah.
it. No one
Yeah.
else is going to do it for you.
No, 100%. And I think I read that, what was it I read? It was something about how today, if you're not educating yourself, I mean, okay, so it's the whole point is, your company, your agency,
Yeah.
or clients shouldn't come to you and ask for innovation. You have to
Yeah.
be one serving them what to focus on, what to innovate around, to make sure you are leaning forward, you are leaning in the right direction. You don't have to know it all. You don't even have to be
Yes.
an engineer. You just have to lean in the way where the industry is heading, and
Yeah.
hopefully also lead it. So I think it's a mindset
Yes.
shift, but also get practical and burst
Yeah.
out of the freeze by challenging vendors, and any experts today just helping you build those cases for you. You don't have to do it yourself. Use any, as you said, LLM, to scrape the
Yeah.
market, understand, and just get forward.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a
Yeah.
decision maker. Decide.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
Just keep up.
yes, and I think this, yeah, I needed this energy injection, Van. I know you're always a blessing to challenge the status quo with. So anyone watching this, make sure
Thank
to
you.
follow Van on LinkedIn, comment summary for all the key takeaways, and we'll stay in touch in the feed on LinkedIn.
Excellent.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
today.
much.
Thank you. Have a lovely
Thanks,
day.
Sarah. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.